Hey class, I just wanted to do a personal video check-in since this has been such a crazy summer session. We are close to the end. Okay, so here's a little lighting thing. Okay, see, we've got this window right here. So see that difference? I had made some videos for y'all demonstrating lighting and things like that, and just in all of the chaos that has been my life the past 4 or 5 weeks. I don't even know where they ended up, but one of the quick things was whenever you're taking a picture, or just to kind of learn to be more aware of light, turn your selfie cam on your phone, and then do a 360, looking at how the light changes. So you can see, like, this is awful. We got the light source back here. The camera's trying to compensate, so now I'm all washed out. We got this haze. So photography, videography, it's all about the light. It's all about the light. Now, there are times where for artistic purposes, you might choose like a not ideal lighting situation. But see right here, so right here, half of my face is in shadow and half of it isn't. But as we move around, so that looks pretty good, pretty well illuminated. And the sheer on the window is softening the light. One of the best times of day, like natural light is just always really beautiful. And I always recommend that people start by exploring natural light. Now, the middle of the day is usually the worst time to shoot. The best times to shoot is like an hour before sunset and an hour after sunrise, because those are like the golden blue hours and stuff that you've learned about in this class so far. Now, another thing is when the sun is up in the sky and there are no clouds, that's like a giant spotlight, and the shadows are going to be really harsh. But if it is a cloudy day, the clouds act kind of like this sheer, and they soften the light. And so the best time to do portraits and things outside is on a cloudy day where the light is soft, so you're not going to have super harsh shadows and stuff. So, okay, so there's a little mini light lesson. So I just finished grading week 3. Now, quite a few of you are missing a bunch of assignments. We are currently in week 5, so unit 5. Next week is our last week, and it ends early. It ends on Thursday. You should be focusing primarily on your final project right now. Your final project is worth a lot of points, so I want you to make sure that you at least meet the bare minimum requirements for that. Now, I want to go ahead and offer, because my family emergency, I know a lot of y'all, there were storms in Iowa. A lot of you have been having family stuff too. So I want to first put an offer out there, because I have not been able to be as hands-on in this class as I would have liked to have been. So I'd like to just say, if anyone wants to connect with me outside of this class and get supplemental photography lessons, if there's something that you haven't learned, or that you're struggling with, or something like that, if you let me know, because by the time we wrap up next week, you should have a good idea of the basics, and you should have a better idea of, like, what did you not get to learn in this class that you would have liked to have, or what kind of feedback did you not get to have. Because normally I would leave you more feedback on your projects, but I've been in such a crisis mode with my 2 guys each and myself that it has just been a nightmare. Like, I have been isolating in Florida for the past week and a half, barely leaving. Like, I think I've left my room for like an hour or 2 each day to either go get something to eat, or one of the things I do to take care of me is I dance, and I wanted to share a little bit of that, just because we haven't got to have a lot of interaction with one another. And one of the things that you miss out on in online programs is getting to have a relationship, getting to make creative friends, mentors, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so now my brain is dying because my stress. Like, if you caught one of my early videos where I talked a little bit about what's going on, like, my boyfriend is a vet with severe PTSD. We did finally make a break. I mean, this is the longest episode that he has ever had. It's been going on for weeks, but I think we finally made a breakthrough in that we have identified that the reason his condition is so bad is because he has stage 3 Lyme disease. And that's quite serious. But now that we know what it is, we have a better idea of what kind of treatment he needs. So he needs antibiotics to reduce the swelling in his brain and some other stuff. And so I'm hopeful that things are going to start picking up. Now, that being said, I know a lot of you are military, and I just have to say, like, the VA, from our experiences the last 2 years, is awful. And if you find yourself needing help from the VA, I highly recommend that you document everything, because we have gone into VA hospitals and they have treated Alex like the enemy instead of a patient. They've been unhelpful. They've been unsupportive. Now, there have been some exceptions, but it's been a battle. So just remember, if I just want to warn y'all based on my experiences, like, document things. So what do? Well, we keep up with all the dates and all that kind of stuff, but I audio record every time we go into an appointment. I always audio record what they say to us first, because both Alex and I struggle with our memory, so I have to audio record because I can't keep notes. But also to protect us, because we know from our experience that we're going into a situation where they're not always there to they're supposed to help us, but it often is not helpful. And so we need to build a history to show that the VA has not been helpful. So anyways, a life tip, whenever and I recommend that if you're dealing with lawyers too. We've had a lot of stuff that we've been dealing with lately, and I think it'll get better, but it's a struggle. In this country, we should be taking care of the people that serve us to help protect us and stuff, and we are not. And I'm not going to go, I have my beliefs and stuff about that. That's not what this class is for. But since so many of you are connected to it, I just want to let you know, just to give you a few tips to empower you if you ever find yourself in a situation like this. But my mental and physical health, I've been sick for days. I've just been laying here. I'm gonna go start working on grading your unit 4 and getting caught up with that. So if you are behind, prioritize the assignments that are worth the most points. So your final project, and then the ones that are worth like 50 points. The discussion ones, I think, are only worth 20 points. So, like, you could do the one photo assignment for the week, which is worth 50 points, or you could go do, you'd have to do 2.5 discussion assignments to get that. If your goal at this point, so, let's be real, when real life stuff happens, if your goal is just to pass the class, like, okay, you're going to, I know that you all have learned some things from this class. You've learned enough foundationally that you can continue onwards. But once again, feel free to reach out to me. I would like to make more content. I also do not mind meeting with y'all one-on-one after this class for mentoring, whether it's photography, design, or whatever. But if your goal is just to get through this class because life is crazy, then you just need to figure out how many points you need. There are a total of 1,000 points possible in this class, and then there's at least one bonus assignment. So technically a D is passing, but let's say that you want to see, you need 700 points. So you should be able to check your grade and see how many points have you accumulated so far. If you've got at least 700, then you'll have a C, and so on. So it's easy to kind of calculate your grade that way. Now, I don't want to make this video too long because I'm already almost at 10 minutes, and as I'm speaking, I'm hearing a clicking sound inside my ears and my head. Oh my goodness. All right, if we could all just have like a moment of silence and just send each other good vibes. Why body? Why are you doing this to me? Anyways, I wanted to share a fun personal thing. So I do photography. You can go to my website, Carol Record. I've got some of my recent work there if you want to see the kind of photography I do. But what I have gotten really into in the last 3 years is making dance videos for TikTok. And I use all of my photography, the things I've learned about photography and light and art and design. I use all of that in the videos that I make. Now, the videos I make for me. So I'm autistic, and some of you have probably heard of autistic stimming. Like if my hands will sometimes move on their own if I don't manage my energy and stuff. And so one of the things that I do is I dance. So I dance to help regulate my energy. So if I start to feel overstimulated, I'll go dance it out. I dance to try and shift my mood. So like if I'm feeling really down, I might go dance to a song that's like kind of sad. And then as I start dancing, I'm going to start feeling better. And then I'll pick a song that feels a little happier, and I'll stair step my way to basically, transmute my mood. Anyways, right now, since I'm in Miami, Florida, I'm testing something. So the past 3 years, I have been intuitively developing my own special dance style that people really like, and I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to start teaching other people. It's a form of spirit dancing called Shiatra, and basically what it is like I'm really hypersensitive to energy, like a lot of people that are autistic, and so the way that I dance, it's when I start teaching it to other people, I'm not going to be teaching them to dance exactly like me. I'm going to be teaching them how to do the same process I do so that they can tap into their own style. If you've ever heard of Reiki, which is a form of energy work, Tai Chi or Qigong, what I do is kind of like all of those things combined with dance and like psychic stuff at times. Anyways, so I've got this special dance form, and I'm currently a student. I just started a 3-month program to teach me about the human body, the physical sciences, and energy, so that I can better articulate. Because my dance form comes from a spiritual angle, but magic is just science we don't understand yet. So we all have an energy body, and when I dance, I'm basically like allowing my body to respond to the energy around me. So it's so fun. It's such a gift, and I'm so excited to be here. But my goal is to teach this in the future, and since I am hoping to start teaching it in the spring, I am currently collaborating with an Instagram channel called Miami Life. And every day I'm dancing, I'm going somewhere different in the city and dancing somewhere, and then making some music videos for them to share and stuff. So if you want to check out, I think it's Miami_life on Instagram, or you could just look me up on Instagram, Carol Record, and you can see what I do to manage my energy and how fun it is. I mean, and this may be of interest to some of you, because becoming a video is a natural evolution of photography, and becoming a content creator is, well, first, it's super fun. Like I don't really make money. Facebook says being like $5 a month. I don't really make money at it right now, but I hope to at some point in the future, because I've started to build up an audience. But even if I don't make money from content creation, because I have been doing this for so long, because it's so fun, it's my form of therapy for my mental health. Because of it, I've been practicing my dance consistently, like every day, and now I have this other skill that I can share with people. So I just wanted to give you that little peek into my life and to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing. And it kind of started because earlier this year I travel a lot, because I'm kind of in this weird limbo period right now where my husband is living one place, I'm living somewhere else. Yes, I have a husband and a boyfriend. We all live together. But I'm on the road a lot for presenting at conferences, or because we're in this limbo period, I'm trying to knock some things off of my bucket list and stuff like that. And I spent 2 months on the road out west earlier, and I did this video series called Dance Across America. And so I'm continuing that down here in Miami, Dance Across America. And my goal with this collaboration is basically to kind of get people, it's kind of like a teaser for Shiatra, to get people excited about it and stuff. And so the 2 videos that I've posted with them so far have gotten almost 100,000 views, which is really cool. Most of my stuff gets, like maybe 500 to 1,000 most of the time, at least on TikTok. YouTube, Instagram has started to climb a little bit. I go by different handles on TikTok. You can find out what those are if you look in some of my captions. But um, but I have one other fun thing I'll share is I did have my first video go super viral last year. So I have a couple of different TikToks. And my personal one, which is where I usually would post about art and life and stuff, is it's Carol Record, but like the username's a little different. It's not Mist and Love, but the name's Carol Record. But I do a lot of interior design, art, painting stuff, and I think it's currently at 3.8 million views. It climbed up to like 3.5 million views in like a week. It was kind of an insane experience. Like, it was both exciting, but it was also overwhelming. I'm glad that experience happened last year because I'm kind of, despite dancing and dancing in public, I'm kind of shy. And my public dancing, I challenge myself to be a little less shy every time I go out, because I would like to eventually get to the point where I'm comfortable performing in front of other people. I'm not quite there yet, but man, I've made big progress. And this is something that I tell everybody, like, if you can visualize where you want to be, and you understand where you're currently at, all you got to do is just kind of like, okay, what does where you want to be look like? All right. And then start thinking, all right, how do you get there? And when it's something like confidence, there's this thing called exposure therapy. Like, basically, I just make myself just a little uncomfortable. I just push my boundary just a little bit. And each time it gets easier and easier. Now, it's easier to do that when it's something that you love. And for me, dance is something that I love. I love dancing and making dance videos more than I'm afraid of what other people think. And so it's just so fun. So yeah. So, check one of those out if you're interested. And if any of y'all are interested in content creation or anything like that, like, let me know. I have thought about seeing if UIU might want to put together, I think they have a film class, but I think really they need a content creation social media class or something. So if there's ever any sort of subject that you wish that they offered, like, let me know what it is and I'll suggest it to them. So, all right, if you watched all of this, thank you for being patient with me. We've just got a little bit of time left in the semester. If you are still having like a crisis with your family or something and you don't think that you're going to be able to complete your work by Thursday of next week, go ahead and reach out to me. There is something called an incomplete that we can do. Now, I can't have, like, it needs to be like a real emergency, because if I could get in trouble if I give like all of you an incomplete. But the incomplete would basically, you would get like another month to work on stuff and then come back. And so if that's something that you need, reach out to me and we'll discuss it. And like I said, just focus on completing the assignments that are worth the most points. Y'all have been very patient with me, so I have been being very generous with y'all and not counting off nearly as much as I would have in the past, because of just how crazy this session has been. So, all right, take care.